Hey everybody, so for my video presentation I did a kind of like a draw my life version of my grandpa's American Story. Well, my great-grandfather, his name was Tommy Reeves, and this is his story. He was born in a smaller town in Mississippi called Pelahatchie, which is about, I would say, like a 5-hour drive from New Orleans, and then about a 6-hour drive south of Memphis. My grandfather grew up in a kind of larger family. He had 3 other siblings. They were all girls, so he was the only son in a family of 4 children. Growing up, his family owned a dairy farm, and since he was the only son in his family, he had to help out a lot, more than his sisters did at least. And then this is me attempting to draw a cow, so sorry. After high school, my grandfather went on to attend Mississippi State University. Upon arriving, he originally planned to study accounting in college, but soon after he changed his major. But for his first couple years, he took many math classes and studied accounting. After a few years, he decided that he'd rather change his degree to airport management. After college, my grandfather planned to work for a Denver airline, which he would have made pretty good money with, but he knew that he would be drafted for the war soon, so instead he took a management job with a machine company. And then only a few months later, he ended up being drafted into the Army. After entering the Army, he knew that he wanted to be a navigator. So on top of his degree that he already had, he also had to attend flight school for a while. And then soon enough he had his degree and he was finally able to become a navigator. One of his many stories is that one time him and 7 people flew into a hurricane, which wasn't very uncommon. He said that he had to fly into a lot of them. Him and 7 people flew in, and only 3 of them ended up coming out, which to me is just, it's beyond terrifying. I remember him saying that sometimes he calibrated speeds in those hurricanes to be up to 150 miles per hour. After he served his time in the Army, he ended up coming home with 2 Distinguished Flyers medals, along with a lot of other awards, and then he met his wife while he was in the Army. Also after the war, he ended up getting his family's dairy farm. I guess none of the other children wanted it, so he got it, and him and his family began to run it. After a while though, he decided to shut down the dairy farm, as well as some of his other businesses that he had come up with that, I think they were chicken farms. And in 1959, he ended up entering into politics, and he served 24 years, and he was the district supervisor. During those 24 years, he never lost an election, which is, to me, pretty outstanding. After a while, he ended up retiring, settling down, and me and my family used to take trips down to Mississippi to see him as well as the rest of my family. In the last few years of his life, it began to become hard for him to talk and to hear, and unfortunately he passed away in 2006. Well, there was my great-grandfather's American Story. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.